Hello my lovely people. You guys have been asking for more makeup videos, and since ASMR videos are a little harder to record because I have to do it at night and stuff, I just thought I would do like a everyday makeup talk through without really focusing on the ASMR. I won't be screaming or anything, but you might hear the sounds in the background and stuff. So I'm just going to do a very simple makeup. I do plan on doing another video with a smoky eye, but this is just a quick video out of the blue, impromptu, do my thing. I have already tea treed my face, and this is Lush's tea tree toner water. Then I applied some Nivea soft cream, and now I will be applying my primer, and it's the same primer I always use. It's the Benefit Professional. So I use about, look, can you see that? That much. And I'm using most of that on my nose and the sides of my nose because I get really oily. And the rest of it I'll use on my forehead. And I'll add to that if I need more. I've changed my setup like slightly because I'm actually using a chin reflector, which is basically just a piece of cardboard with aluminum foil. So you might hear it. And I use a tiny bit on my chin too. So, going on to the face. My favorite foundation is still the Born This Way. I have the color Porcelain, and I also have a backup of the color Porcelain, which is actually my summer color. But I am going to mix in, I think, my new NYX Pro foundation mixer. This is almost gone, but I have another backup. It's about 1.5 pump if I would actually have a functioning pump, because it's almost empty. Just going to put this in, about that much, I guess. I really like this one. It just shears out the foundation a little bit. I'm going to mix it until it's the right color for me. Just about that color. I'm just going to smear it on my face and blend it out with a damp beauty blender, and it is. Oh, I burped. And my face might look red, but my neck is a lot more yellow and lighter than my face. And since I am having quite a good skin day, I don't have to, I have like, these are like leftover pimples, I guess, but there's only like one active one. I don't know what I did. It's probably because I've picked up the regimen of using this one every day after a shower. I spray that on and then put on my moisturizer. And that really seems to help with my pimples. I also have this, which is a spot treatment, but I don't use that too often because it does dry out the skin. And I know it's a spot treatment, but so much comes out that you can basically do your entire face with one pump, which is what I usually do because I don't want to waste product. I think that looks nice. You can still see my freckles, the redness is gone. It's like a high medium coverage. And my tip to you, get a stack of really inexpensive white towels so you can clean your makeup brushes on them. And these are from IKEA, and they were like less than €1, and as you can see there's stains all over them, and I keep them separate for cleaning my brushes and just cleaning my hands off because I don't mind getting them dirty. I have an entire stack of them. The next thing I'm going to do is use a concealer, which is the Sephora Bright Future Gel Serum Concealer in 5 Parfait. Do a lot. Do another dip and do that. And I really like these concealers because even though they are pretty high coverage, they blend out really well, and they do work with when you're wearing high medium coverage. And around my nose because I get really red there. I've let this set for about a minute, but that's a really good tip if you let your concealer set for a little bit, which I learned from Jackie Aina. It kind of, well, not dries down, but it sets. So you can only do this with concealers that don't set immediately. You can get a little bit more coverage. So I'm just adding it on the spot where I was a little red. And for some reason I always have a red patch on my nose, and I forgot to conceal that. I can't use too much product on my nose because my nose gets extremely oily, even though I will bake it in a minute. Look at that brightness. That's blended out and I look even. And my trick to see if my foundation matches is do a double chin. And it matches. I'm going to use my Laura Mercier translucent powder, which isn't really translucent, but I'm pale, so it doesn't matter. It does give flashback though, so I'm just going to pour some in the cap. So, remove creases, add a crap ton of powder, and do the same on the other side. Because you don't want to set the creases, which is why I'm making a really weird face so I don't crease my under eyes. And, as I said, my nose gets incredibly oily, so I am going to bake my nose too. And I'm actually going to do the same to my eyelids because my eyelids get really oily too. Cute! And same with my forehead. I have to get out the creases before I set my face. I just don't use as much powder as I've used, like in this particular reason. Just get the rest that's in the cap. And what I've learned from Tati is do this, or that's the actual instruction, I guess, to get it into the powder puff, like the powder's in there, and then set your face. And I don't do it as heavily as Patrick Star, but this is more than enough. My forehead also gets oily, but it doesn't break up my foundation as it does on my nose, and my cheeks are pretty much normal. So I've let my face bake for a little while. I'm going to wipe the bake off my eyelids, but I'm not going to like my upper eyelids, but I'm not going to wipe the bake off right here. Just with a Real Technique setting brush, which is exactly the size of my ass. And I will be doing my eyebrows. And I'm going to use the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in Auburn, because I don't know if you can see that, but it has a really warm undertone. And I'm going to use a Real Techniques Bold Metals 202, which is basically just a stiffer angled brush. And this line right here, I'm going to really define. I'm just going to like feather it out. I'm just going to slightly make a line right there. You see that? So it was before because my camera overheated. So as you can see, I have a really crisp line there, and I'm not going to use much extra product, and I'm just going to like flick it up, like whatever's left on my brush. And I do like paint hairs here. Not really paint, but I make sure it's not too harsh because I don't want a blocky brow. I just get a little bit on my brush, and I don't like making the lines too harsh, especially when I'm not really like hardcore going out. I'm just going to see my parents, who are probably wondering where I'm at, because I said I'd be there, and then I decided to film. So that's, for me, when I'm doing a quick brow, this is sharp enough. Eyebrow, and you can see the difference. I don't really do it to make my eyebrows fuller, I just do it so they match my hair color. Then I just use the excess to flick up. Make sure my eyebrow hairs go into the same direction. I'm not a beauty guru, not by any means. This is just the way I do it. Just make sure the tail is a little more defined. The only line I like to be sharp is this one. I've zoomed out and now you can see I actually have eyebrows. And I'm going to do the simplest eye look, and I've already baked my eyelids so they're not too sticky anymore. I'm going to use my trusty Tartelette and Bloom palette, and I'm going to use this color as a transition color, and I'm using a very fluffy, very cheap brush by Hema, which is a Dutch store. I'm just going to swipe that into the crease really lightly. And I know it looks like a line here, but I actually have freckles there. And why I told you about the white towels. Get a white towel, spot clean, and then blend the edges some more. And it still looks like I have a line there, but that's just ginger life. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to dip it in, tap it up slightly. And baking my eyelids, I actually learned from Patrick Star. Just use a very light hand. Just let the brush do the work. And you don't have to use expensive brushes. I think this was like €2, as long as it's fluffy and it fits your eye shape. If you have smaller eyes, use a smaller brush. If you have bigger eyes, use a bigger brush. Then I'm going to use one shade up, which is has the same undertone, it's just a little bit darker. I kind of stamp that on my outer V, and because I set my lid, the colors won't be as intense. And whatever's left on the brush, I'm just going to take into the crease so I can deepen it up. And yes, I will blend that. Same thing, not too much on the brush. Stamp that on my outer corner, and as you can see, it's not the palette's pigmented, but because I baked my eyelids, they're not sticky, so the eyeshadows won't stick as much, which is handy and easier for blending for like an everyday look. So they look about the same. Spot cleaning my brush again, which is also a good tip, so you don't have to use 50 million brushes to do your makeup. And my eyes are defined. I'm going to spruce it up a little bit more and use, so I've used this color in the crease, this to deepen it up, and this for the very outer V, and I'm just going to basically do bloop and stamp it on the outside, just to give my eyes some definition. Blend, blend, blend till your hands bleed. And then you've got something like this. But I want to brighten up my eyelids, so I'm going to use this Real Techniques Bold Metals 201, which is a pointy brush, but it's the right shape for my eyelid. You could also use something like a flat shader brush. I just like this. I'm going to be using this color, which is really close to my skin color, and I'm just going to like stamp it onto my eyelid. And I also like this because it's slightly fluffier than a flat shader brush, so it doesn't disrupt my blending. You can just go like this, and that has like slightly brightened up my eyelids. I'm back and I'm zoomed out. I'm just going to really quickly apply my mascara, which is the L'Oreal Volume Million Lashes, which won't be too interesting, so I might cut with the editing. Other side. My lashes are really blonde, but they are really long. You just can't see them when I don't wear mascara. That's mascara done. As you can see, the bake is gotten into my skin, so I'm just going to wipe it off with the same brush I wiped off the bake of my eyelids. And then just to get the excess powder off my face, I'm going to use another Real Techniques brush, which is a multitask brush. Softly go over that. And as you can see, everything's covered, but you can still see my freckles, which I like. Then, to not leave my under eyes naked, I'm just going to use first that lighter color that I use in the crease as a transition color on a Real Techniques shading brush, which is a very handy brush, and it fits exactly underneath my eyes, as you can see right now. So now my eye look is tied in together. And then just for the very outer corners, I'm going to use one color up with a light hand, and that just to connect this. That's it for the eyes. For blush, I'm going to use my favorite blush, which is a NYX blush in Dusty Rose. I'm just going to use a very, very old Sigma slanted brush. And I'm just going to be softly applying that to my face. I use a soft hand and circular motions. And then for my very last step, highlighter. And this is Mary Luminizer by The Balm, which is forever my favorite highlighter ever. And I'm going to use my own bedazzled brush. Here we go, guys. This is the special moment. Yes! And I also really like this highlighter because it gives more of a sheen and it's not glittery. Just going going to put a little bit on my nose. And a little bit right there. Just the tiniest bit, just for effect. A little bit right here. And a little bit on Cupid's bow. Now I'm just going to set it with some MAC Fix Plus. Oh, I forgot how much I love this. I used to always use this. I use a setting spray so as to take away the excess powder and to make me look glowy, not oily. You can always go over that with your damp sponge if you want to. And that is me done. And yeah, I hope you guys liked me doing a more chit chat, get ready with me. It's not ASMR, but I've noticed I really like doing ASMR videos, but I also want to do other content and not just be limited to ASMR. I do have a second channel, which I posted something on yesterday, which is AylaASMR Random. But I was like, it's my channel, I can do whatever I want. So I'll do videos like this, and I'll do live streams, and I'll do ASMR videos, and just basically post on it whatever I want to post. So thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all later. Wait, I'm not Christine from, yeah, I'm not Simply Nailogical. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.